Yeah, I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been hiding a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat. Yo, grew my hair and took the grill out. Think it's time to put it back in. Trying to get into that big house, turn the crib into the mansion. Needed something with that big bounce. You know I had to hit Jackson. Aaron Rodgers with the quick routes. How with the gang we packing? We on the field at Lambo. Might peel in a Lambo. Murder drills in my camo. They know what the M stand for. Still got fam in Hawaii, yeah. Couple fans in the lobby, yeah. Couple grand in my pocket, yeah. Couple grams of wasabi, yeah. Eye it up, no glasses. Light it up, no matches. Wife it up, no ratchets. Might turn my wife to an actress. And we gon' make a movie, no Kim K. Give a fuck about what your friends say. I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been hiding a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
I'm just sticking to the code, I keep it so G. She asked me what I smoke, I'm smoking OG. I don't fool with too many, only catch me 4 deep. Gotta stay away from snakes, swear these people so creep. I've been grinding for a minute, many labels so sleep. These rappers drop a song, be hot for about a week. I put Gucci on my toes, I keep some cold feet. I ain't paying for no hoes, you niggas know me. I'm about to body the beat. I keep me a hottie with me. She wanna for a fee. Give me that for free. Keep me some money on me. Smoking the gas, keep. You with me, sheesh. But need OG keep.
I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been hiding a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
Hey, yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peace, you gon' see the flex when you hear these writtens. Trust me, you know the difference. I got a long ways to climb before you see a slippage. I see the process and the journey I'm supposed to be, but perplexed, cause I don't really see nobody close to me. Hopefully this ain't wasted and I know it ain't. You gotta take the time for seasoning to marinate. You need the patience under pressure just to detonate. I'm trying to blow up and these heathens need to get it straight. Gifted with a vision and precision, I'm just trying to make it high key. Might be breaking free like I was Zion in some Nikes. Tucked at the crib, bro, you know just where to find me. Making beats and spitting crack verses pretty likely. Yeah, socks with the burst, boy, I ain't changed a bit. Normal guy till I die, you know what it is. You probably thought I'd give up now that I got some kids, but really now I got these arrows aiming at your ribs. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas. Hey, please be on the notice, these my motives. Bought my chicken and it's rotis. You parsimonious, you take it all cause you a locust. My focus is to grow this mission. A visionary, get a dictionary. We here off the ribbon, we ain't sharing, we just caring. Let me speak it to the manager. We damage her, no you ain't messing with an amateur. I'm ramming, the competition ain't standing up. They fanning from left to right cause now they branded us. Now who that is? Mike Jones, they ain't want me now, they all on me. Got counterfeits trying to play me, I guess they thinking I'm Sony. These big head dummies showing up and out of their character. Homie, you need a price cause without it the squad ain't hearing you. Top of that, we ain't fearing it. We swinging for the fences with the sting of a left hook that connects with Sonny Liston. I'm dismissing any and all of the disrespect. Nonetheless, it ain't a threat. I'm just letting y'all know who's next. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie. You don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the start. I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the please. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the P's, you gon' see the.
What's next for me, Joe? I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, though they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got Bitcoin pushing in to our upper levels of resistance, guys. We got one more level above us as we tap this point of control of our macro range. We got some bearish signs popping up on Market Cypher B. The ones that we were looking at on last night's live stream, are these about to bring us down for a little bit of a cool-off? But as we all know, money flow is in the green on the daily, potentially making us anticipate a potential continuation to the upside. But shout out to the CandleMafia. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys for hanging out with us here on this beautiful Friday evening, at least down here where the sun is shining. But let's see. Shout out to the CandleMafia. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got Jesse in the chat. He is our like police, guys. So if he asks you to like that like button, lick that like button, touch that like button, whatever he asks you to do, just touch that like button, guys. We don't judge. Just touch it. And make sure if you touch it in an odd amount of time. Shout out to Jesse. Welcome in. We got Dwayne Hooper in the chat. Said, I miss you, man. Finally got another job after being laid off. Shout out to Dwayne Hooper. Welcome back, bro. And congrats on the job, bro. Good to see you in here 7 months ago. Shout out to Dwayne Hooper. We don't forget, Dwayne. We don't forget. Welcome back, bro. We got K Diggity in the chat. Said, Phoebe is using Frankie to promote her rap career. Yes, I'm being used by my pet goat, Phoebe. She's trying to break into the mumble rap scene, guys. So yeah, check her out at Phoebe, FeeBee on Spotify. Shout out to Phoebe and K Diggity. What is going on? And shout out to Hugo. Said, is that ba baked into the song? Is that Frankie spamming the ba for the intro? Shout out to Hugo's. Nobody will ever know if that is me or just Phoebe on the mic. I'm not gonna lie. But shout out to you guys. Thank you. Shout out to Aziz. Welcome in. We got Caleb in the chat. Said, sell in May and go away. BTC to 62K after FOMC. Oh, we're going to talk about that potential move to the downside, guys, and kind of the potential for a continuation to the upside, because we do have the money flow, at least on the daily, coming into the green, but we do have the higher time frame VWAPs curving to the downside. We have the 8-hour bearish divergence that we looked at yesterday, which has finally been starting to print here. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. We're going to break down the key levels for you guys so you are prepared for the next move on Bitcoin. We're going to cover the bearish signs. We're going to cover the money flow. We're going to cover the key levels of resistance and support. We got one more level above us, guys. We'll talk about the liquidity, so you guys are fully prepared going into the weekend and the beginning of next week. So shout out to the CandleMafia. Thank you guys for being here. Smash that like button, and without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Oh, yo, shout out to Highly Trained. Just spent some time in your home city, NYC. Shout out to New York, baby. Shout out to New York. Let's see. And shout out to Highly Trained. Let's see. Bearish the last 3 bull runs in May. Shout out to the power. Yeah, so let's talk about that. We actually, last night we had Tony check out on the sell in May and walk away thing. And apparently there's been more in the past couple of decades. There's been more bullish Mays than bearish. But I don't know if it's necessarily May that is the bearish month. It's kind of where the top comes in. But yeah, we'll take a look at this, guys. Now, obviously, as we look at the chart here, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on how we got here because we do this every single day. But we all know we have the massive bullish divergences on the 2-day and the daily time frame here into our weekly naked point of control, which was very nice to see, as that was our 786 Fibonacci retracement, where we would anticipate some kind of a retracement to come in. And mainly, guys, we were looking at that golden pocket sitting here between $96,000 and $97,000, where we had the POC of the range. I actually have another chart here with all the levels of resistance. We had a plethora of resistance up here: daily naked, monthly naked, weekly level, daily level, POC, and now we only have one other level above us here, guys, sitting at $98,300 with our daily and daily naked point of control. They're basically the same exact level up there at about $98,300. And last night on the live stream, we were talking about how, hey, if we are going to print that 8-hour bearish divergence, we're either going to get it to at where we were yesterday, which obviously we did not do, and the next level is going to be $98,300. But overall, guys, this is the big area of resistance we've been watching. We have finally pushed in here, and we are finally starting to see the higher highs on our price action, the lower highs on our momentum waves, potentially looking to print that 8-hour red dot to confirm or start printing that 8-hour bearish divergence. And we're going to take a look at that lower time frame money flow, because you guys know when you have that 8-hour red dot coming, you can go down to that 30-minute money flow, and if it's crossing over into the red at the same time, it may be the start of that bigger move to the downside. But really, for the most part here, guys, this is obviously, as we looked at yesterday, the big decision moment for Bitcoin. I would be very, very shocked, to be quite honest with you, to not see any kind of a reaction here. Now, is it possible to just push up here? You know, from a binary standpoint, obviously we have a lot of resistance. If we hide the actual resistance levels, obviously we have the POC of the range. So overall, I will say generally it does look pretty good, at least as of right now, just because we are above our value area low, which obviously that is where we're going to be looking for that move into the POC, which we are getting right now, or we have gotten. And that's just generally bullish, right? We're inside our volume profile. We're above key support, which would be the value area low, at least as of right now. I will talk about the bearish case as well. But just in general, guys, you know, daily money flow, we come on over to the daily time frame. You know, obviously the POC is going to be a place where we would anticipate anticipate a little bit of a bearish reaction. Doesn't mean that we have to come down to massive new lows, although possible based off our higher time frame money flow. Obviously, the daily money flow is in the green, but we still have the 3-day money flow generally trending to the downside. 4-day money flow actually came up very nicely. So the high time frame money flow is kind of doing what we would want to see for a full bear market not to come in. I know a lot of people were super bearish down here, anticipating the bear market to be in, and we were looking for that $97,000 retest of the macro golden pocket. If we are going to get a macro lower high for a new lower low, this would be the first level other than the 786 up towards our value area high at $102,000, $103,000. That golden pocket with all that other horizontal resistance is going to be that first place that could give a high probability area to put in a macro lower high. But with our daily money flow in the green, I have to say, right, like it even came up a little bit more today with the fresh green dot. I will say, guys, like overall, until we see this money flow crossover into the red on the daily, we could still be looking, even if we get a cool off here, for higher lows and higher highs to come in on price. Now, obviously, this will depend on what happens if we do get a push to the downside. If we see things start to turn around, money flow starts to cross over into the red, that could be a big warning sign that, like, hey, maybe these higher time frame money flows are going to cross over into the red, potentially giving us the lower high and then the macro lower low. But as of right now, we're inside our macro volume profile. We're above key support being the value area high. So until we start breaking down out of this macro range, there's obviously two ranges that we're looking at. We're looking at the previous volume profile, which you see on the chart right here. And then we also have our current volume profile, which is pulled to the current price action. I could actually extend this a little bit more now, which does pretty much give you the same exact level. But yeah, it doesn't really change too much there. But, current value area low is sitting at about 89.5. So that is level number 2, right? First level of key support is going to be the value area low of the previous range, coming in at $91,000. If we start to lose that, we do have a little bit of backup support. Little bit of backup support on the current value area low. These are the same levels we've been looking at. And then once we start breaking down out of this value area, guys, obviously this is not necessarily where we want to look for shorts, which is why we're looking for shorts up here. But the if we do continue to push down and we start losing this value area, the top of these candles right here, right? This structure right here is really what I want to hold on top of. And we all know this is confluent with our lower range value area high. So if we do break below the $91,000 value area low, we have the next value area low sitting at 89.5. And then just underneath that, our value area high from the previous lower range is sitting at about $88,500. So as we looked at, over the past couple of streams here, this is really the big key level. If we get a bigger retracement for the long term, I would say I really want to hold this zone between about 89, I'll call it about, I would say from value area low to value area high, 89,623 all the way down to about 88.5 between the value area low and value area high of the range. If we are able to kind of come down there and hold this as support, that would be pretty good in my opinion for a continuation to the upside. But once we start breaking down below this value area high, this is where the bearish case kind of starts to come into play, because once we start losing that value area high, we all know that the next likely place for price to go is going to be to get sucked down toward that POC, where we do have a lot of liquidity sitting in the market. We also have key levels of support down there, such as our full golden pocket retracement when pulled from the swing low to the swing high. Golden pocket sits right here underneath the POC. So there is support here, and could we potentially see something where we get the pullback, we do get accepted into lower value, and then we do come down to the golden pocket and potentially even the 786 for a higher low, and then another bigger continuation to the upside. This is something that we can see, guys, but as I said yesterday, once we lose that value area high, it just becomes a little bit more bearish for two reasons, right? Once you get below the value area high, you're expecting a continuation through the profile, and then number two, at that point, you're also breaking down out of your macro volume profile, which is kind of what makes me feel pretty good right now, right? The fact that we are inside this larger profile is bullish, right? Because, at this point, you break above the value area low, next likely place for price to go is the POC, obviously, as we can see here. But if we did cool off, right, that would really be the key level that you want to hold in order to continue moving through the profile. Once you break down out of this, especially if you get you could deviate below the low, get some bullish confirmations, get back into the range potentially, but that's kind of why I have that zone down here with our previous value area below, because, once you come down, you don't want to come down too far because you get stuck under here. That would really invalidate that bullish sentiment here, living inside the larger profile. We really want to stay inside this upper range. So from a very simple standpoint, you want to stay inside at least the macro volume profile of the current range, right? Pulled to the current price action with the value area low at 89,623. If we break below that value area high, I am going to be more bearish for a continuation down to the POC at around 83.5, and then below that, the 786 is kind of the line in the sand at about 79.4. Once you don't hold that, lower lows are obviously going to be very, very, very likely. And this is potentially a possibility of what we can see happen, guys. Again, the daily money flow being in the green and maintaining our support inside our upper profile will kind of help us not have to deal with that. But once we start losing that value area high, it becomes a very sticky situation because at that point, maybe your daily money flow is coming out, which is one of the big things that we're looking at that makes me anticipate higher lows and higher highs. But once you break down there, that money flow is probably going to be crossing into the red. So you kind of lose that bullish signal, right? You're also anticipating the full fill of the volume profile, which also would be more bearish. And you also have to keep in mind that if we are just going to look at this from a very, very basic Fibonacci standpoint on a higher time frame, pulling that macro Fibonacci retracement, right? If we're looking for a lower high to come in, where is it likely to come in at? The first place is going to be that golden pocket. Especially with all of the plethora of resistance here, I'd be really shocked. I'd be very shocked if we don't get some kind of a move to the downside. Doesn't mean we're guaranteed to get the move, no. But it would be very, very shocking to get no kind of reaction at that major level of resistance, right? And the reason I am going to be very careful about losing that 88.5 level is because if we start losing that, the opportunity to put in a lower low becomes much greater, and the high would have come in an area what would be a high probability area to put that lower high in at, right? Like when you're looking for a continuation of a trend, in this case, it would be a continuation of a bigger downtrend. That golden pocket 786 resistance level is going to be the big area where you're looking for that lower high. So it doesn't mean it has to come in, but it just means like the more weakness we see on the way down here, the more probable it is that tap into the golden pocket might have been the macro lower high. But again, as long as we remain inside this larger range, it does look pretty good, especially with the money flow in the green. And now we are starting to see some bearish confirmations up here, right? We talked about the 8-hour bearish divergence that we just showed, right? We'll pull that up real quick. 8-hour bear div, higher highs, lower highs. This is not printing just yet, but it looks like it wants to print somewhat soon. And if that 8-hour red dot does print, guys, if we come on over to the 30-minute time frame, you can see our money flow on the 30-minute is starting to cross over into the red. This could potentially give us a market cipher B 116 setup if we see that money flow confirm in the red. And that 8-hour red dot probably has to print pretty soon. That could be kind of the start of the bigger drop to the downside. Now, the caveat here, guys, 100% bearish divergences into a key level of resistance. The one thing that I don't like here is the fact that we front ran that daily naked point of control that we have sitting all the way up here at 98.3. We just barely missed it. We came up for that second rip, and we did front run that level. So I am prepared for a potential push back into that zone. If we come up here, that is the top of our overall macro resistance, right? If I just pull up the 97K resistance, you can see 98.3 is where that ends. And we don't know if we're going to wind up rejecting the POC, which is what looks like we're doing right now. We don't know if that divergence is going to come in at the POC, if we're going to wiggle around up here and put one more high into the daily. That could be a scenario that we look for. But as we are starting to see some kind of sign of weakness here with the 8-hour bear div, this could be the start of that little correction to the downside. Now, we do have some local levels in here on the lower time frames that I want to go over with you. But overall, on a higher time frame, obviously, as long as we remain inside this range, I am going to be still looking for higher lows and higher highs, especially with the money flow in the green on the daily. Once we lose it, I would hope that we hold 88.5. If we're unable to hold that, back to what I just said earlier, right? We could look to fill the rest of that volume profile. It does get a little bit more bearish there, in my opinion. However, you do have to understand the full Fibonacci retracements are down there, but it's kind of a difficult trade to take, in my opinion, right? This is like kind of what we've been looking at forever, right? Like once you get down there, again, especially if the daily money flows in the red, it gets really sketchy, right? Like, it's like, you could look for longs there, but at that point, it's like, we have to reassess the situation, see what money flow looks like. And yeah, I really don't want to lose this level, right? Because you're just, in simple terms, you're just breaking down out of your macro volume profile, which is not really what you want to see. And if we didn't have this this lower value area down here, maybe we'd be a little bit more open to a potential just deviation below the low, right? But we've already gone to the POC. Really, really what you would want to see is like a move up and then a quick move down, deviate below the low, back to the POC. And then once you hit the POC, I don't really like to go down and retest the value area low after tapping the POC, right? Because we all know, right? I talk about this a lot. When you are inside a volume profile, you break down out of it. Sometimes price does like to come back in one more time, tap that POC before the real rejection and the continuation down. So again, it's like absolutely critical to stay inside this range. And if we deviate, we have to hold above that value area high. Because again, like with that value area below, acceptance into that range would likely suck price lower. And again, at that point, it's like, hey, lower high, potential lower low incoming. Is that the bear market? In my opinion, not necessarily, right? We do have another key Fibonacci level down there that we front ran. We never came to test these highs. Could it be the bear market? Maybe. But, there's still a chance that, like, you could really have max pain come in here before sending it to the upside. So we'll see what happens at FOMC. But really, that's what we're seeing, right? We definitely have the bearish confirmations up here. We also have, just in general, like 5-hour higher highs on price, lower highs on our momentum waves. Could definitely start our correction here as we bing bong around this POC. And if we do push up one more time, last line of defense, 98,300. And then once we get above there, guys, to be quite honest, there's not a lot above this, right? Like, honestly, like when we look at this from a volume profile perspective, right, that daily naked point of control is kind of the last line of defense. And then right above that, we all know that we have that gigantic level of liquidity. Let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. Right, we have that gigantic zone of liquidity sitting above $99,500, right? So that liquidity, although, may not be as significant at this point as we've already gotten the big drop to the downside, we could still anticipate that, once we get above here, regardless of the liquidity, like we want to understand that there could be still liquidity living up here that could act as fuel for the bigger move to the upside. However, even without that liquidity kind of theory, there's not much above us, right? Until we get to our 786 retracement at about $102,000, which is confluent with our previous volume profile, right? Right here. Once you get above that golden pocket, flip it to support. If that daily naked point of control doesn't knock you down, where are we going to be looking to go? Well, if you're above the POC, the next likely place for price to go is going to be the value area high, sitting right here at 103K. If you get above the daily naked point of control and flip the golden pocket to support, where's the next likely place for price to go? The 786, sitting right here at about 102.3. Right, so once we get above all this resistance, right, sure, it's a big wall of resistance and we could get a rejection. However, once you flip it to support, you could be looking up towards that value area high. That's what we need. We got to get above the daily naked point of control, and then hopefully we could see that bigger move up to the value area high. But the real question right now is, are we going to get the rejection first? And, again, 8-hour bearish divergences. We even have the 12-hour bear div looking to print potentially here. It's not as close as the 8-hour, but that VWAP is coming down. Could be printing that bear div very soon. And again, it is happening at a key level of resistance. So, maybe we wiggle around here on the daily and MPOC, but once those divs print, I think that's the best opportunity we have to get a bigger correction to the downside. And I want to talk about the local levels of support we have before we start panicking, right? No, I'm not panicking, but before we really start thinking like, hey, maybe we're going lower, guys. I do want to talk about those lower level or local levels of support that we could put aggressive higher lows on. And even up here, guys, right? Like, it's like, even shorting up here, it's, you have the POC. It's like, it's a rough trade. It's a rough trade because we're in the middle of the range in general. But, the signs are there. The divergences are there. I do think if this confirms on at least the 8-hour, 10-hour is also printing the bear div. This is our best chance to get some kind of a correction to the downside. Even if we get one more last little sweep into the daily naked point of control, as long as those divs wind up printing, maybe it unprints. We have to see these confirm. But I will say if we get one more push up, 100%, still the same level we looked at yesterday. We almost came up and tapped it earlier. $98,300 is that last line of defense. And then, I'd be shocked if we don't pull back from here or that daily naked point of control. If we just rip on through here, that'd be pretty crazy, right? It's a huge level of resistance. We were talking about this forever. All the naked points of controls, all the points of controls of our previous ranges, all of our horizontal levels, all of the macro golden pocket retracement. In my opinion, right, like, if you're going to get a retracement, this is the area to do it at. And then kind of the invalidation would be flipping that daily naked point of control to support. And yeah, like even up here, if we come up to that daily naked point of control, any shorts have to be treated as scalps until proven otherwise, because we might just come down and then flip all this to support and continue to the upside. Same sentiment as yesterday, right? We just got one last little push up to the upside. I really wish we came up to hit that 98.3 level though, because I'd feel a lot better about the shorts if we came up to tap that level. So we'll see. I'm still a little suspicious of that naked point of control. But again, if that div prints, we might just kind of front run. It's not impossible to front run those levels, although a little bit less likely. It is not impossible. So let me go ahead and check in on chat real quick. Shout out to Gear says, oh no, I'm late again. Shout out to Gear. No problemo, bro. We got your late pass. No problemo. Dumping now. Shout out to Medi. Yeah, getting a little pull back here, holding that POC. Yeah, I mean, like we're pushing down, but right into that support, right? And then if we pull up like the monthly naked point of control. $96,000, another big psychological level to hold. It's a monthly naked point of control. Even if we come down there, could flip that to support potentially. And again, I'm going to bring up these local levels in just a second. But let me just check in on chat. Shout out to Hey Trader. Welcome in, bro. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. He says, hey, Frankie. What is going on, bro? What is going on? Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Shout out to Hugo's. Welcome in, bro. Welcome in. I hope I win a pet goat in the giveaway today. By the way, guys, we are going to be doing a giveaway at the end of the stream. We're going to do Bitcoin. We're going to move on over to some of the altcoins, and then we're going to get into the giveaways. We're going to be giving away some Cardano and maybe some Frankie Candles hat. It depends on how many likes we get. Maybe we'll give away 3 Frankie Candles hats because we know Gen Z needs a Frankie Candles hat. But let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Oh, hey, shout out to Simon. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He said, would you sell if you are long and it goes down to 88K or lower? Or would you sell before, have some longs at different price levels? Thanks. Shout out to Simon. Would you sell if you are long and it goes below 88K? It depends, right? That's kind of a shout out to Simon. I appreciate the super chat. It's kind of a loaded question, right? I mean, it really depends on the context of the actual trade. If you're long from, it really depends on your trading plan, where your entry is, what your risk tolerance is, what your risk management plan is in general. So it really depends. If you were long from up here, right, I would close it way before we get to 88K. If you're long from down here, maybe it would be a different story. So if you give me a little bit more information, you don't have to send another super chat. I'll try to see it in the free chat. It would really depend. It would seriously have to depend on the actual individual situation. But, and again, it doesn't mean that we can't continue up if we lose 88.5, just to be clear. Does it? Yeah, it's just like, you could potentially bounce off that level. It's getting stuck underneath there. And it really depends. It's like, how low, if you're in from here and you've taken profit along the way and your stop loss is at break even, right? Like, let's say I was long from the tippy low here, right? I'm usually in a situation where if I do catch a move like that, right, at that point, I'm taking profit. I'm looking for this to get back into the value area, up into the POC. I'll take a little profit there, move my stop loss to break even, making it a guaranteed winning trade, right? So if I get stopped out, I'm still, keeping the money that I took off the table. And then maybe you take more profit along the way. If I were in the situation like that, right, which is oftentimes the kind of situation that I'm in, right, and we came back down and broke below 88K, I'd probably just be sitting there and being like, hey, my stop loss is at break even here. It's a risk-free trade. I've already locked in a bunch of profit. If we hold the golden pocket and continue up, or even the 786 and continue up, I might just let that ride, because if it dumps and stops me out, it's still a winning trade, right? It really depends on the specific situation. But I would just say, you get stuck under 88.5. I just think it's like very likely to come down into the 83s, especially with all the liquidity and the golden pocket down there. That's kind of my 2 cents on that. Hopefully that helps you out. But again, I would need a little bit more detail to kind of give like a direct kind of thought on what I would do. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Jesse. Said we should get a like counter of people who like the stream every stream and should expect the non-likers. And Gen Z definitely needs a hat. If I win it, I'm donating it to Gen Z. Shout out to Jesse. Maybe I'll enter, and if I win, I'll donate to Gen Z as well. Is Gen Z in here? I don't know if he's in here today. Maybe he'll just come in for the giveaway. Let's see. Bought at 105K, 88K, and a lot at 76K. Shout out to Simon. Like if you're talking about a leverage position, or are you talking about spot positions? It really depends. Like, what is your long-term plan? It's like, it's really difficult, right? Like, so 105, so bought up here a little bit, bought at 88K, I think he said. Yeah, so 88K, and then a lot at 76K. So, it really depends on your overall plan, right? Like, for me personally, right, like the reason why, like, I can't just say what I would do is because, like, my situation is totally different. I bought in down here in the bear market between 21 and 22K, right? So if we lose 88K, like, I'm still in massive profit, so I'm not really panicking on my spot bags if we lose 88K. If you, it's nice. I like that you DCA'd down. It's a really, really difficult situation because in my personal opinion, I don't think the bull market is over. If it could be, right? I could be wrong. But for me personally, like if I were in your situation and I kind of averaged in here, my average buy price is like somewhere in here, and your thought process is that the bear market is not over, even if we get another low, it doesn't guarantee the bear market is over. Like maybe continue to dollar cost average on the way down in anticipation of new all-time highs. But again, that's my plan, right? I could be wrong about that. Although, we are obviously right about this way more than we're wrong. But just, no one has a crystal ball, right? So I don't want anyone to just kind of make decisions based off of what I think, because I could be wrong. And I'm prepared to take that risk. But I'm also in a different position, right? Because my buying is completely different as well. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I wish I could give like a more clear answer, but it really is hard to say, right? If this is the bear market, it's probably you're gonna look back and be like, man, I should have sold at 88K if we're gonna go down for a 75% dump. I don't personally think that's the case, but again, I can be wrong. I can be wrong sometimes. Let's see. Shout out to Hay Trader, said, Frankie, are you sure bull market is in play as it's moving? If yes, then when can we see Lambo candles? We will see Lambo candles when QT ends and QE starts. I really do think that's going to be a big thing that we're stuck with to kind of guide us on when the next big leg is going to happen. But I mean, just from a technical standpoint, right? Like at the end of the day, if we stay inside this volume profile, we get above the POC major zone here, into the value area high, at that point, like it's looking pretty good in my opinion for new all-time highs. You do have more resistance above 786 value area high, etc. You even have some monthly naked points of controls up there, so you still have to be careful. But at that point, right, like what's your higher time frame money flow looking like? Is the 4-day continuing to come up here? In that case, it could be looking good. So yeah, I mean, it really is like this is decision time, right? Because like if we do wind up putting in a lower low, it's a really difficult situation, right? Because it also depends on like what the Fed decides to do, right? Because if we do make a new lower low here, obviously we all know that we can hold the macro golden pocket pulled from August 5th, right, all the way to the all-time high, $72,000 to $70,000. This is like a big level that we could potentially come down and test, retest all this structure down here, and then put in a higher low, and then continue off to all-time highs. This is a scenario that we could potentially see happen, right? Like, at the end of the day, nobody really knows exactly what's going to happen. All we can do is read the charts, and one thing I can say for sure is, if we're going to come and tap this golden pocket, like a high probability lower high would be here. But then again, you look at the daily money flow, and it's like, well, hey, we also have a situation now where, money flow starting to shape back up on the higher time frames, daily money flow in the green, and that's why I say, as long as we stay inside of our upper range here, whoops, do I have it on this? Right, as long as we stay inside this profile, could still be good for new highs to come, right? So it's, again, it's I don't even know if we come down to lower lows. Like, I don't even know if that's enough to call for the bear market, right? It really depends. We'll have to see what the Fed does. Maybe that's the thing that dumps us. Maybe it's the thing that pumps us. But we'll have to see what happens. But right now, I will say daily money flow in the green. I have to lean towards higher lows and higher highs to come. That's just like a binary thing. Whether that winds up happening or not, on the chart right now, when the money flows in the green on the daily, typically the continuation is to the upside. We can look back at like any of these kind of situations. Money flow crossover into the green, big correction to the downside, but the continuation of the trend was to the upside. Low, high, higher low, higher high, right? And here you even got a little bit of a fake out. You crossed into the green. You came back down for the golden pocket retracement. So, these things are really confusing. Like a lot of times the simplest and easiest path is not the one that winds up playing out, right? But yeah, for the most part, these daily money flow crossovers, as long as that stays in the green, all these pullbacks are looked at as higher low, higher high, right? And that's the situation that we're in right now with money flow on the daily at our current price action. We're in the green. As long as that stays in the green, we can look for higher lows and higher highs. So let me break down some of these local levels. Now, we all know, right, we looked at this constantly over the past couple of streams. 786 all the way down to our value area low, our first previous value area low at $91,000. Huge level to hold. You have the 786 retracement, you have a daily naked point of control, you have a value area low, and you also have a CME gap sitting in there as well. Someone pointed that out on the stream. Shout out to whoever said that, because I actually checked the CME chart live and was like, oh, there is a CME gap down there, which would be really nice, right? Like maybe next week or something, if we do get a bigger pullback, they go fill the CME gap, and then this would be like another big level that you would want to hold, right? Because once you start losing that CME gap, not only are you losing the CME gap, but you're also losing the previous value area low, and at that point, you're kind of like, well, hey, dang, if we're not going to hold here, we got to hold down here. Because if we don't, we could get accepted in here and get a bigger move down. And again, it's not really, it doesn't really matter, right? Because we're going to have the short positions from up here. So if we do not get the higher low, and we'll assess the situation, right? If we come down to the value area low, previous value area low at 91K, right? What is market cipher B looking like? Are we getting bullish confirmations here? If we are, we can look for a move back to the POC, and then maybe we flip that level and come into the value area high. right? But if we come down there and it looks like garbage, it's like, well, hey, maybe I'm going to, close a portion of my trade down here in case we bounce, but I'm going to leave a little bit of that running in case we do get the bigger breakdown and we can be short from the top, right? A lot of people always ask me, Frankie, how are you long from the bottom or short from the top? Like, how do you possibly know that was going to be the bottom or the top? And the real answer, to show you the magic behind the magic trick, is I don't necessarily know, right? If I am holding a short from up here and we go down to new lows, I'm going to be short from the top. But I did not short up there necessarily saying this is the top before we make a new low, right? Because the context doesn't give me that guide yet, right? The context is technically right now with money flow, higher low, higher high. So that's what I'm going to view it as until I'm proven differently on the actual chart. And so I'm given information from the chart that proves that wrong, right? If we come down here and money flow starts crossing into the red on the daily, I'm thinking like, well, hey, maybe we did short the top here. But until that happens, money flow stays in the green, everything looks good still. We would have to look at that as a lackluster retracement, higher low, higher high. So at the end of the day, definitely bearish confirmations up here at the major key level of resistance. If we push up one more time, daily 98.3 is going to be the big level. And then to show some of these local levels, macro levels to hold between 92 and $91,000. We lose that. We are simply going to be looking at the current range value area low, 89.5 to 88.5. Get stuck under 88.5. I'm starting to feel a little bit more bearish, right? And at that point, is money flow coming into the red? If it is, we can start thinking maybe we did short the top, right? But there are some local levels we can look at here as well. So let me go ahead and pull those up real quick. I'm going to hide the lower range. I'm going to hide some of the daily naked points of controls. Bada boom. Hide the CME gap. Hide this rectangle. Hide this rectangle. Bada boom, bada bing, right? So I'm just going to look at this from the simple volume profile perspective and just kind of show you guys what we're working with here. So if we go into a lower time frame, let's go to the 1 hour. And let's take a look here, right? So obviously, support, if we lose that POC, and again, I will say this, below us right now, directly, POC of the, previous range is sitting at 96.6. POC of the current range sits at 96.7. So we're already below that, right? And again, the POCs are always going to act as a magnet for price, guys. This is the area where the most volume was transacted. This makes price cling to this level, right? So we could just see some consolidation here, right? And to be honest, more often than not, you do see the kind of annoying, confusing situation play out. It's hopefully this is just like a clean 8-hour bearish divergence and you get the pullback. But, POCs, especially with such a large POC over such a long period of time sitting right here, a lot of volume there, right? So it could act as a magnet, but directly below us, I will just say, you have the POC. I'll just look at the previous, right? So previous POC, we're tapping right now. We're literally tapping into that as we speak, right? We're literally touching this to the dollar, right? So that's 96.6. If we lose that, let me hide the golden pocket. Although this has acted as support, right? We rejected it. We came up. We tapped the top, flipped it to support. So that honorable mention, but I'll just take that off, right? So POC 96.6. Below that, we have the monthly naked point of control at $96,000. And this is going to be a little bit of a cleaner way to look at the chart. So lose the POC, 96K, monthly naked point of control is huge, right? It's also somewhat of a psychological level, that even 96,000. Once we start breaking down below that, we can start to look at our local range that we formed here, right? This nice little sideways range. This was actually pretty well respected. Very nice for scalp positions, especially if you are trading the volume profiles as we do. Deviate below the low, look for the rotation to the high, deviate above the high, go to the POC, back to the low, back to the high, right? Another rejection. Well, actually, you kind of bing-bonged around there. Back to the low. Deviate the low. Back to the POC. Flip the POC. You get the break out of the range, right? So this is going to be a local range that I'm keeping an eye on, especially if we lose that monthly naked point of control, right? So the local context right now is going to be, if we lose the POC here, come down to the naked point of control at 96K. If we hold 96K, it could be an area. Actually, let me pull a fib here, really, a local fib. Yeah, you have the golden pocket right on the MPOC. So if we hold above that monthly naked point of control at 96K, it could be a higher low for a higher high, which would very likely bring us into that daily naked point of control at 98.3. If we lose the monthly naked point of control at 96K, my next guess, right, my next anticipation is to see price, if we lose this, come back down to the value area low of the range at value area high of the previous range at 95,222. Now this is a zone, right? You have the value area high in the POC very close to the top of the range, right? When these levels are close, I like to view these as kind of one big zone because you could say to yourself, hey, if we get stuck under the value area high, the POC is next, but the POC is right underneath you. So I just look at that as like one large level. But if we lose 96K, the next level here is going to be the value area high at 95.3. And then once we start breaking back into this range and we can't get back out, we start losing the POC. That's where I think it's much more likely to either definitely come down to the value area low of the range at 93.3. So it'd be another key level to look at. But if we lose that, right, maybe in the grand context, we're just going for that macro value area low retest on the daily naked point of control, value area low, 786 to fill that CME gap, right? And then this would be hopefully where we hold that support to come back up. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'll be honest, guys, this is a very, very difficult spot right now for Bitcoin. Shorts are shorting into key support that we just broke above, right? And then on the way back down, there's a ton of levels to look at. This is a very, very difficult spot on Bitcoin right now, my own personal opinion. But when we view this from a volume profile perspective, which is why I like the volume profile so much, it gives us a clear view on where price is likely to go next. So if that 8-hour bear div does break us down below 96K, I'm going to be looking down to this volume profile, treating it as a typical volume profile, break down below the POC and the value area high, look to go to the value area low, and if we get... we could potentially look for Scott. Maybe we just come in and respect this range. But if you don't get any bullish confirmations down here and we start losing that range, very simply put, I'm going to be looking for that move down to the value area low of the range, right? And this is a zone, right, between $92,000 and $91,000. 786 at 92K, daily naked point of control at 91.3, and then the value area low at 91,000. So, and then, once we get down there, we'll try to assess the situation and be like, well, hey, we're short from up here, do we want to hold the rest of this, or are we going to look for a big, big bounce, money flow coming back up, daily green dots, etc., for a continuation through the rest of the profile? Now, another thing I will say, on top of the 8-hour bearish divergences, we also do still have our 2-day red dot looking to print as well. So this also could give us a little bit, this could aid us in that correction to the downside, maybe to come fill that CME gap. But again, once you start breaking down out of these macro value areas, guys, it does just generally flip more bearish, right? I have to lean more bearish because you're out of the macro profile, and especially if you get stuck under that value area high. But those are the local levels, right? So beneath you, just understand 96,000 psychological monthly tapped monthly naked point of control. Let me actually switch that, right? Because this is already touched. Lose that, looking down to the value area high 95,225, POC at 94,795. Lose that, value area low at 93.3. Once you break down below that, you're just zooming out and saying, well, hey, maybe this is going to be the macro value area low retest, right? Sometimes you do that. Right? I could try to find an example of that maybe. Any volume profile that we ever look at, right? It is typically like right here you kind of do it, right? You come up, you reject, right? Maybe that was the current POC of the range. If we bring it back a little bit, almost. Look at the previous profile. Maybe that was it. Very close to the POC, but not quite. But generally, right, you get in, get the move up, flip it to support, send it all the way to the high of the range, right? So, again, if we break down below the local profile, that might be what we're looking to do. Again, going to have to reassess the situation down here at key support, right? So there you go. Let's see. Shout out to Ryan Willie, says, or I think that's what that says, I still dislike the intro music. Why is it always rap? Shout out to Ryan Willie. I don't know. What should we play? Should we play some classical? We could play some Beethoven in the waiting room, potentially. Some rock? I don't know. Shout out to Ryan. Let's see. Shout out to Aziz, said, Frankie, when did you close your trade? You're short from 102K. Oh, man, I don't, let me see here. So, yeah, we were short in the premium from 102,000 here on a little retest. Right here. It was on this retest right here. I remember it like it was yesterday. We broke down bearish retest to get stuck in the range at about 102K. Took the short there. We saw our money flow cross into the red for the bigger continuation down. We ended up getting it. I don't remember. I was taking partial profits on this. I know I took a little bit at the value area low. I would have to look. I don't remember exactly where I closed it in full. Might have been a situation where maybe I got stopped out at break even. I trailed my stop loss down. I got stopped out at break even on this pump, potentially. But it was somewhere down here. So yeah, I would have to double check though. I'm not sure the exact number. Shout out to Dave Digital in the chat. What is going on? Shout out Pennywise, everybody's favorite clown. Friendly clown, by the way, guys. But yeah, that's what we're looking at on Bitcoin for the most part. Shout out to Alan said, please don't change the music. Yeah, listen, if I took every suggestion, we would never have anything, right? I would just have to change everything all the time. Not everybody's gonna like the intro music, and that's totally okay. Let's see. Opening music is good. Don't change it. Shout out to First Name. But yeah, don't worry. We're not gonna change the intro music, guys. Don't worry. We're doing hats on the giveaway. Shout out to Crypto Maxi. I'll say, listen, if we get 750, if we get 700 likes, we'll do some hat giveaways. We'll see what happens. We'll judge the likes at the end of the stream. Let's see. Shout out to Darren Dusting, says, am I mod tribute tonight? Can't see Rob if Rob is here. Shout out to Darren Dustings. Oh, yeah, I did not see Rob either. Darren, yeah, if you want to take some alt requests, I'm going to take a look at some altcoins right now. Let's do 3 requests. And, yeah, drop your altcoins in the chat right now, and Darren Dustings will count up the votes and let us know what we're looking at. I added your tracks to my own playlist. Shout out to Vegas Claw. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Those are all royalty-free songs, and usually royalty-free music is garbage. But for whatever reason, this royalty-free music is they're slappers. I don't know what it is. Maybe some funky music. We could play some like some funky jazz. I'm down. But drop those altcoins in the chat real quick. Let's see. I just saw something I wanted to touch on. Shout out to World. Says, knowing Frankie, he probably closed it in full on accident. Yeah. And hopefully I close it in full on accident down here. Shout out to World. Let's see. Hot tub stream, TA stream request. I guess I got to get a hot tub. Mrs. Candles! We got to get a hot tub. We're doing a hot tub stream. We're doing a hot tub TA stream. Hopefully I don't drop the laptop in the hot tub. Okay, so all coins are coming in. I work at a jazz club. I'm a jazz clown. Shout out to Pennywise. Let's go. I didn't know that was a thing. Shout out to all the jazz clowns out there. But yeah, so we'll see what happens here. We'll keep an eye on Bitcoin as we look at the altcoins. But, you know, again, guys, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to spend a ton of... Whoa, all right, everybody calm down. What is going on? This tab is stuck. This tab is stuck to me. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the altcoins here. You know, Ethereum still just in the same spot that it's been every time we check on it. Plan remains the same here, right? Break above the golden pocket. Next target is about $2,000, $1,950, right? Between the value area high and the 786 of the range here. Or 786 and the value area high of the range, right? Golden pocket, resistance, resistance, resistance. We're starting to break above it. POC sitting here as well. Once we get above this zone, very high probability, that is going to be the next stop. And then once we get up there, we can finally attack the real doorway to higher prices, which is $2,100. This is what will get me out of bed for ETH, right? To finally be like, oh, maybe we're starting something here, right? Not where I would long it, right? But where I would say, well, hey, now we're starting to break above some significant highs. We're starting to get back into our macro profile. This could open the door to a higher price for Ethereum, not just bing-bonging around these local levels. But other than that, you know, Ethereum remains very, very the same, right? And then if we come on to the 8-hour here, you also still have these 8-hour bearish divergences forming at the POC, very similar to Bitcoin. If we get rejected out of here and we get a big move to the downside, right, you're just going to be looking within this volume profile. I can actually move this fib to the new high. It does slightly move this level. Right? Golden pocket, value area, low confluence. I would actually look at that as your key level with the backup, and that is coming in between about 1668 and 1641. Lose that value area low, you're looking down towards the 786, sitting at about 1610. Other than that, we're just within the range, right? Same thing. We've been bing-bonging around here on Ethereum for 9 days, right? Absolutely brutal. But yeah, same thing. 8-hour bear div. If that prints, 30-minute money flow coming into the green, into the red might be the thing. Oh, it's already in the red. Okay, so no 16th setup there really. But once that 8-hour red dot prints, and you're going to get a bigger pullback, that 8-hour bearish divergence may be the thing to do it. And again, key levels remain exactly the same. 1644 on ETH. Shout out to Logty. I don't know how to say that. 1644. That would be the value area low of the range, right? And now you could hold higher levels, right? There's always going to be intermediary levels. I can't bring up every single level on the live stream, right? Just because actually, no, that is the level that we're looking at. You know, you also have this local range that you formed, right? Similar to Bitcoin, right? Is this a deviation? Whoops. Is this and this would be like lower time frame, right? Like deviate above the range, back in, back to the low. deviate the low, back to the high, deviate the high, back to the low, deviate the low, back to the high, deviate the high, back to the low, deviate the low, back to the high, deviate the high. I would say locally, same thing on Bitcoin, right? It's the same thing with Bitcoin. The PLC and the value area high are somewhat close to each other, so it's kind of a zone. But once you get down below that value area high, start losing that POC, that's where you can potentially look for the, you could look at this as your local profile for Ethereum, right? So if that 8-hour bear div prints, you start getting accepted below your value area high, maybe you are going to come through and fill this profile once again. And then if you lose this profile, you're just going to be looking towards the bigger value area low, which would be like Bitcoin coming to fill the CME gap down to 91K. That would be probably Ethereum at 1644. Doesn't guarantee you have to go down there, right? Because in the terms of this profile, right, typically the way it works is you break above the value area low, POC is the next stop for price, right? And we see this play out every time we look for it. I'm not going to lie. The hit rate on the volume profile rotations is like ridiculous. It's hilarious. And if you watch the show, you'll know this because we look at them before it happens, and then we're here after it happens, right? So you're usually going to break the low, go to the POC, and then once you get above the POC, you could go to the high, but that doesn't mean that you can't cool off in the meantime, right? So that's kind of the local range that I would look at, and that does come in at value area low at 1757, POC at 1800, and then the value area high at about 1818, which has been a key level on Ethereum forever. Key level here, doorway to lower prices, key support here. Come on, bring this all the way to our 1818 has been, always been a big level. Hold it, hold it, hold it, lose it, big dump. Resistance, big breakout, right? So support, lose it, big dump. Now we're testing it as resistance. So this would be a big level to get above, to be honest, right? Like it not only could open the door to the value area high once we get above it, but once you break out of there, maybe it is going to be similar to this situation, right? Because this is where that volume profile is coming from. That POC is very close there. You go from the low to the POC, break above the POC, value area high comes in, and then you wind up breaking into the larger range for the full rotation of that range, right? Pretty crazy, right? But it's the same thing, right? We're just in that same exact range. So yeah, that value area low sitting at 1750, POC sitting at 1800, and then the value area high at about 1818, right? So there you go. Right, let's see. Do we have any? You don't really have. Yeah, you don't have like. This would be nice if this was like a beautiful 1-hour bearish divergence. Right, you would look for a cool off, get stuck in, rotation to the low. But yeah, those are local levels. But other than that, I would just be paying attention to the larger levels. You're just within your profile, so as long as you stay above here, could be on your way to the value area high. Shout out to Crypto Billy in the chat. What is going on, bro? Welcome in. Welcome in. Drink Ovaltine. Shout out to Dave Digital. Shout out to Tony D. Loving the Ovaltine. Tony D loves Ovaltine. So do I. Ovaltine is very good. Shout out to World. Said, how did Mrs. Candle's trade go the other day? I hope she bought something expensive at the mall. We told her you would be surprised. Yeah, shout out to World War. I was wondering. I was negative. I wasn't negative, but I had an account, a Femex account, that was down 10K. Was that Mrs. Candle's? Because she told me that she didn't know what she was doing, so she just closed the trade at break even. But I told her if she closed it at break even, there would be more money in the account. And she did go on a shopping spree after that. Did you? Who didn't tell me? Why would you guys not tell me that she went to the mall? I got wrecked. that day. I think she spent like 7K at the mall too. So I got wrecked that day. So yeah, I guess Mrs. Candles. She doesn't even come anymore. When I call her, she doesn't even respond. Let's see. Ovaltine is goated. Nothing compares. Shout out to Tony D. Dave Digital says the mall. Let's see. Mrs. Candles. She's just ignoring me. Wasting all the money. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. Mrs. Candles gave Frankie the people's elbow. All right, so here we are, right? That is Ethereum, right? Hopefully we can bing bong around, but continue up to the value area high. Key levels of support. Let's check in on Solana, also sitting in the same spot for the past 10 days. We did actually see a nice little pullback into our support zone here at the Golden Pocket 786 POC before getting a push up into our daily naked point of control. But again, at this point, you got your 10-hour money flow coming out. 8-hour blood diamond. No, Looked like it was going to be a blood diamond. But you have your 8-hour red dot on Solana. I mean, this is probably going to be on pretty much everything, right? 30-minute money flow crossed over into the red, and we are starting the bigger move to the downside. So we'll see if that 8-hour red dot confirms, right? Might be able to continue down. Key level of support really does sit. POC at 142.88, and then below that, you do have the 786 at 138. But yeah, overall volume profile remains exactly the same. Yeah. So, I mean, you get stuck underneath here. You know, I don't know. Could potentially look for longs off that 786, but you're really just longing into key resistance, right? So, yeah, we got above the low, flipped it to support. Next stop was the POC. Break above that POC. We did flip it to support. As long as we remain above that POC zone, we could potentially anticipate to come into the bigger level. Could we come down more from here? Yes, but I would say the bigger levels are sitting up here. Anchored VWAP at 158, all the way up to the value area high at 166. So this will be a big zone. Daily naked point of control, anchored VWAP, 786, value area high. But overall, you're just within your profile. So, like, if we're going to see this profile fill in full, you know, value area low, POC, flip that POC. Maybe we play around a little bit, but for the most part, you're just looking for a continuation through that profile. And then looking at the daily, right? Obviously, daily money flow had just crossed over into the green. So as long as we can keep that money flow, it's fighting. It's fighting to go into the red. But if we can get that to continue into the green, right, we could look for higher lows and higher highs. But again, with the 8-hour red dots, like, it might not be impossible to cool off here for, you know, obviously Bitcoin, but also, you know, everything else is going to have those same signals. So yeah, again, not really a huge update on Solana. Levels remain exactly the same. If you guys want to get these on your chart, you could screenshot this and drop these ranges, drop the range and all the MPOCs on your chart. If you do so, please. XRP, you know, we haven't checked in on XRP too much recently. Yeah, we front ran this 786. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, hey, get above the low, flip it to support, start your move up to the POC. Let me extend this to the right. Maybe we tapped it when you, yeah, no, you extended it. It still remains the same, right? So I'll just keep this updated here. Whoops. Come on, bada boom, bada bing. But yeah, I would say, yeah, you're still just within your range. I would treat this as a volume profile. If we lose that value area low, you do have the weekly down here, sitting at about $1.92. I believe that is a naked weekly, right? Yeah. So you do have the weekly level down there at about $1.92. And we could pull our fib as well from the low to the high. So yeah, I mean, your last line of defense here on XRP, if we do get a bigger cool off, would be the weekly / golden pocket sitting here at about $1.92 to about $1.87. I really would prefer to just remain inside the range, just bing bong around, finally tap the POC. Can you front run it? Yes. But more often than not, that POC does get price sucked up to it, to be quite honest. Like, even if you correct first, it is very, very likely that you will, like, even here, you get the bounce, you front run it, you come back down to the low, you test it again, then you hit the POC. So again, it is very important to stay inside these ranges. Value area low at $2.05. That's really what you want to hold above. If you deviate below, that weekly is kind of your last line of defense. I really wouldn't want to lose that weekly, right? Once you lose that, we have a very large low volume gap down here, as we looked at before we got this drop to the downside. We talked about if we broke below that low volume gap. I'll pull it up here so you can see it in all of its glory, right? Let's just zoom in here, just get it to show a little bit better. Come on, volume. There we go. Right. So we knew, you know, once you start breaking down out of this this range, right, very low volume. Fast moves up oftentimes lead to fast moves down. So we knew once we broke into that low volume gap, we would probably get a fast drop through that range or through that low volume node. Could be similar there, right? You lose that golden pocket, you're kind of breaking into that low volume node. So yeah, we really just want to stay up here, right? And I'm surprised that we front ran that POC. So I would hope, right? Ideally, you stay above in your range. Even if you test the low, you just stay inside here, test the POC, and then once you flip it, look to go to the high. Once you lose it, you're really hoping that you hold this level between $1.92 and about $1.85. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Black Friday steals and deals. Shout out to JP. Let's go, baby. Let's go. If we go down, it's shopping time. Shout out to Bears getting wrecked. Hopefully the Bears get wrecked. I mean, hopefully for the sake of the shorts, we get a little dip. But, you know, I'm at the point, guys. Listen, you know, do I make decisions based off this? No, but I just really hope that this is not. If this does wind up being the macro lower high, and just from a Fibonacci and volume perspective, you can see the massive golden pocket. You can see the high volume node. I mean, if this winds up being the lower high before another lower low, this is brutal for the sentiment of crypto, right? Just because people were calling for the bear market here, and they are not prepared to come down here then, right? That would be absolutely brutal. We would see attention completely leave crypto at that point, and could present a very nice opportunity, right? Because it's like you come down here, everyone's super bearish. Everyone's saying bear market, I should have sold up higher, right? Now they're probably thinking bull run back on, which hopefully is the case. I really hope this is the case, guys. This would be just so much better for content, and just the crypto space in general just really needs some relief here. But now they're probably, the people who were scared down here are probably just thinking like, oh man, like even if they sold their bag down here, a majority of people who sold their bag down here are probably thinking, man, maybe I should buy back in, right? Because they're selling the lows and buying the highs. But people in that situation, right, are not prepared to get excited for another bull run, like get excited for things to take off again, and then get one more last push for max pain. This would be brutal, and that would make a lot of sense, in my opinion, right? Like, this could be definitely a plausible situation where, like, you really cause max pain. Like, people, oh, my God, bear market, right? I never thought that, obviously. But, oh, my God, bear market. Oh, my God, bull market. Never mind, it's all over. Crypto's a scam, and then the low comes in. Everything goes into no all-time highs, and then all those people who were bearish at the lows and bullish at the highs are totally out of the market, and they're seeing this, and they're like, I'm not getting tricked again, and then they see it break new all-time highs. They wind up buying up here. Right. And this is the journey of a general person in crypto, right? Like just like the normie that gets into crypto. If you haven't been around in a few bull runs, you know, these 30% pullbacks will scare the heck out of you. But someone who's been in crypto since 2016, again, the reason why I was not bearish at the lows, besides the fact of the bullish divergences on the massive bull dips here on the higher time frames, we had our key level that we were waiting patiently to get tapped here at the 786, right? We're prepared for this, right? We anticipated this all the way in January. Right, we get it. We finally get the levels to get tapped, and you know I've been through multiple cycles, right? So it's like to see this 30% correction for people who just got into crypto and bought up here. This is brutal to see, but for someone in crypto for a long time, even if this is the start of the bear market, right? Maybe it's not going to put in a lower low and then take off. Maybe it is just going to go into a full bear market. But either way, this is not the place to get bearish, right? It's a 30% pullback, very common in a bull market, and even then, even if it is the start of the bear market, like I said. You know, everything remains the same, guys, right? Like even down here before we got the breakout saying, guys, if we get up to that 97K level, whether it is the start of the bear market for a macro lower high and a lower low before a bounce or a macro lower high for a massive bear market, like this is still not the place to be selling your bag, right? You want to wait for some kind of a retracement. Is it guaranteed? No. But at the end of the day, when everyone is super, super fearful and you're already gone down 30%, that is not usually the time to sell. Usually if you hold on enough, right? And you know where to look for bounces and you know where to look for retracements. Like, again, I said this yesterday. If you were afraid that this is the bear market and you think that this was the bear market here, this shouldn't change your mind, right? You would just be saying to yourself, you know, everyone was very sure, oh, this is the bear market, right? If you thought that, right, this is not the place to get bullish, right? This would be the place where you'd be like, thank God for giving me this retracement. Let me get out of my bags and let the bear market play out, right? Now, again, I don't fall in that camp. But if you fell in that camp here, this push to the upside should not change your mind. Right? This should be, thank God they brought me back to the retracement level. Let me sell my bag at a small loss or break even and get out of the market and wait for the next bull market. Right? Again, I don't think that is necessarily the case right now, but if you thought that down here, this should not change your mind. Right? This pump does not, like, if you thought this was the bear market, this pump does not invalidate that idea. Right? So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, you know, again, I don't think it is the bear market, but I could be wrong, right? Probably one of the few people on the internet that will admit, like, hey, guys, like, I've been wrong before. I will be wrong again, just statistically, even though our hit rate is extremely high. Let's see. Let's see. Shout out to Mark Dutch in the chat. Welcome in, bro. Welcome in. If we go to 75K again, opportunity galore. Yeah, shout out to, yeah, potentially. I mean, even if we make a lower low, that could still be, yeah, I mean, it really depends. I mean, really you know, and I know a lot of people are in this situation. A lot of people came into the market up here. And, yeah, I mean, a lot of people learn their crypto lesson, right? Like everybody does, right? I've done it too. I bought tops. I've sold bottoms. Trust me, guys. I didn't just like get into this and be like, hey, we're probably going to bounce here, guys. It took me a long time to get to where I am now. But, you know, I've done it. You know, people get in here. They see this. They're like, oh, my God, this is super scary. And then it bounces. They're like, oh, my God, it's back on. Let me buy back in. And it's like, yeah, it's It's an emotional game. It's an emotional game. And I know this because I have personal friends, you know, and it's just like it's a perfect look into like how retail thinks. Like every time I get text messages, I talk about this a lot. Oh my God, I'm going to sell my bag, man. I'm down 30%. I'm like, what? Don't do that. At least wait for a retracement. And now those people who are like, that's it, guy. That's it, dude. Like if I got to break even, man, I got to sell my bag. I'm like, all right, well, watch 97K, right? And then 97K comes and they're like, oh, dude, the bull run's back on. And I'm like, no, maybe. I mean, hopefully. That's the camp I fall into. But, you know, if they thought that down there, switching your psychology just because you see a pump and changing your mind because of the pump is going to get you wrecked, right? Now, hopefully, they do buy back in and it just continues up for their sake. But, yeah, it's a difficult game. It's definitely really hard. Let's see. Shout out to Crypto Maxi Dutch. Oh, God. Shout out to Crypto Maxi Dutch. I don't even know who's who anymore. Said, I need to increase my chances, Maxi. You win every week. Give me some pleasure. Shout out to Crypto Maxi Mark Dutch. I don't know. Everybody's blending together in the Mafia. This is insane. Let's see. Okay, so shout out to Darren Dosings. Yo, shout out to, I guess, Dave Digital pinned the chat. So let's see. We got Link, Dot, and Undo. Let's take a quick look at Chainlink. We actually looked at Chainlink yesterday. Was it Chainlink or Litecoin? No, I think we looked at Chainlink yesterday. So, yeah, let's take a look at the daily real quick. So, yeah, I mean, listen. This is a pretty clean setup, in my opinion, right? You have your nice, beautiful, clean macro range here. Deviate above the high, get stuck into the range. Once you can't break out of the range, you go to the POC, value area low. Back to the POC. Actually, you front ran the value area low. So this is kind of just POC, play around. Eventually, you come to the value area low, and then you test the POC and you get the rejection, right? This is your deviation below the range. You get back in, POC, flip the POC, back to the value area high. Deviation, this is your overvalued asset. This is where you want to look for shorts. Get stuck back into the range, POC. Front run the value area low, you finally tap it with bullish divergences on the higher time frames. There's your bullish confirmations, at least on the higher time frames. I wouldn't call that an entry trigger, but that would be giving you the idea of like, well, hey, I'm deviating below the low with bullish divergences here. Get back into the range, flip the low to support. POC is the next stop. So just in terms of the general volume profile, stay above this POC. The doorway to the value area high is open. If you lose the POC, right? Again, this is the area where the most volume was transacted. It does act as a magnet for price, and price does like to, as you can see, cling to this level, cling to this level, cling to this level, even though the profile was completely different back there. But, you know, bull divs at the low, into the range, POC, stay above here. Value area high is open. If you cling here a little bit, you could get a little bit of turbulence, but as long as you stay above that value area low, the idea of filling this range in full, like I showed you on Bitcoin, where like you sometimes come into the POC and then you reject, retest the low, and then you get the rotation. That might be something that we have here. Daily money flow is in the green. Daily green dot might be looking to print somewhat soon here. Let's see the 16-hour. Probably put a higher probability on this VWAP getting rejected a little bit. But either way, money flow is in the green, right? So it doesn't mean you can't get the pullbacks. But I would say as long as you remain above the value area low, could just bing bong around here before filling this range in full. Locally, we do have the local profile here. I believe we drew this yesterday. You can actually extend this now. Whoops. Where's it at? Bada boom. So I'm actually going to change this. I don't know why these levels are gold. So yeah. So even here, right, locally. Rotation, deviation, rotation, deviation. So it's kind of messy. You go to the low, lose it again, POC, lose it again, back to the value area high. So yeah, I mean, this is your local range. Value area low at 1465, POC sitting at about 1498, and then your value area high sitting at 1519. So that is, but again, like that's just local. These are just the local levels, right? Like I would be paying much more attention to the high time frame levels, right? Do we have the 8-hour bearish divergence? Not quite, right? You have the lower highs, but you don't have the higher highs. So you don't have the bear div, but you do have the 8-hour red dot looking to print. You do have the 30-minute money flow. Wow, deep in the red. So yeah, key support down below, like significant support, POC 1432 of the macro range. If you lose that, you know, you're just looking to stay within this range. Value area low sitting down here at 1173. Again, POC at 1436, value area high at 2071. But yeah, money flow looks okay as of right now, if that could stay in the green. 2-day money flow attempting to come to the upside, but again, high time frame red dot, 2-day red dot, 3-day VWAP rolling over. Yeah, man, this is choppy. This is a little choppy. If we get that 2-day red dot, again, even if it is a bigger retracement and we come down here, like you're just hoping to stay inside this range. I mean, that could even potentially be a little bit head and shoulders-y, if I do say so myself. So there you go. That is what I'd be looking at on Chainlink. Pretty quick and dirty. Also, looked at it yesterday. It's still kind of the same situation. 4-hour money. Is that a blood diamond? 4-hour blood diamond, potentially? No, man. These blood diamonds are faking me out here. There it is. Heikinashi blood diamond printing. So, yeah, we'll see. You do pull back, that'd be the biggest level of support I would look at, right? POC, and then under that, golden pocket, value area low, 786, sitting between 1216 and 1118. Smash the like button. Shout out to Alex. Don't forget to smash that like button, guys. We are going to be doing giveaways in a little while. Dean says, how likely is another crash down to the 70s? Link has never been in the 70s. No, I'm just kidding. How likely, like percentage-wise? I mean, I would say, put a percentage on it. As of right now, that's the thing, right? It's based off the money flow, the likelihood of the continuation up until proven otherwise, right, is going to be a continuation to the upside, higher lows and higher highs, which would not call for another crash down to the 70s. It is possible that this is the lower high before the lower low, back into the 70s. And I'm talking about the 70s as in a lower low, below 75K. Percentage-wise, I mean, it'll change, right? Like right now, if we stay inside the current volume profile, I move these tabs around. If we lose the current volume profile, or if we stay within the current volume profile, I should say, right? If we stay up in here and money flow stays in the green, pretty low, right? Like pretty low chances. But if we start breaking 88.5 and we start getting stuck under that value area low of the previous range, in my opinion, the chances of the lower lows coming in are increase greatly, right? And again, it doesn't make it a guarantee because you do have the support level here at around 83, and then again, you also have the value area low 786 zone. But once you lose 88.5, like right now, if we stay in this range, I'm looking for higher lows and higher highs, right? Like big level to watch, 91K, 91 to 92, and then 88.9 or 89.5 to 88.5 is the next level to look at. Once you start losing that, it increases greatly. Once you start losing about 88.5, the chances of that become like, I would say 20% to like 60, 70%, right? But again, it's not, it's like kind of hard, right? Because it could change, right? If you ask me that question tomorrow, depending on what the chart looks like, it could be a completely different prediction. So yeah, kind of hard to say. Like as of right now, I would say that the chances are definitely higher of a continuation up, but that's only based off the information that we're seeing right now. Tomorrow, if we get a massive dump and we start losing 88.5 and you ask me what are the chances of lower lows, that percentage is going to go way up, right? Because you get new information on the chart every day. And this is a big thing that I think that, it's like I could always judge the experience level of someone. And like, we don't really get this a lot, but like sometimes we'll be like, you're just looking at the bearish and the bullish case to cover your end on both sides. So you're not wrong. And it's like, not even close, right? Like now I know that like, that person's new, right? Because no, the chart brings in new information every single day. And if you don't take that new information and change your sentiment or your bias based off that new information coming in, you're going to have a rough time trading, like a really rough time trading, right? Because if it looks really bullish right now and in 2 days it starts looking much more bearish, I'm not just going to keep long in the lows because I felt bullish and I have to stick by my one prediction, right? You would want to, especially as a trader, we make money whether the price goes up or down, right? So if you're looking for mostly longs in this uptrend, right, and then things start to look bearish, we're not just going to keep longing if it looks like it's going to continue down. We're going to catch the shorts and make the money on the way down, right? So yeah, hard to put like a direct percentage on it. But I would say right now, as long as this money flow stays in the green, I feel good. As long as we're in the upper profile, I'm feeling good. Once we lose 88.5, chances of going back down to the 70s greatly increases. Doesn't make it 100%, but greatly increases, right? I will put more than 50% on that if we start losing 88.5. All right, so there we go. Yeah, new info every minute, second, hour. And that's why a lot of new traders get caught up on the 1 minute, right? Because they're just like sitting there, right? They're completely new to the charts and they're trying to trade the 1 minute, right? Where like things change so fast. They're like, oh man, I should be longing. Oh, wait, now it's super bearish. Oh, wait, no, now it's bullish, right? And they just get caught on that wrong side of ping pong, right? And that's why I'd never recommend new traders start off scalping the lower time frames. Very, 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 very dangerous game. Let's see. Shout out to Nick Dunn. Said, Frankie, you the man. No, you the man. You the man. All right, shout out to Nick Dunn. Let's go ahead and check out Polkadot. We actually have not checked on Polkadot in a while. And mostly, guys, I got to say, I'm not really an emotional trader, but I haven't checked on Dot because it hurts my feelings. I'm just kidding. Let's take a look here. So, let's take a look. Bada boom. Is this, I got to pull up the public chart real quick. Dot. Pull it off Hikins. Okay, so on Polkadot, let me get rid of the market cipher A real quick. Come on. All right, I got to do it manually. All right, so let's see here. CandleMafia John Cena said Tina is a super scalper. Yeah, well, shout out to Tino. Yeah, I'm just talking about like beginner traders, right? Like if I scalp the 1 minute, it'd be different than like, because for whatever reason, new traders, I guess it's like the high octane feeling of scalping the 1 minute. Like new traders for some reason all want to gravitate towards scalping the 1 minute, right? Or the 5 minute, whatever it is. They just want to get in and out of 50 trades a day, which for anyone who is starting is almost it's like the worst way to start off trading, right? Because it's the most emotional. This context changes so fast. There's so much information you're looking at. It moves very quickly. So it is very, very, very different for a new trader. Tino is anything but a new trader. But shout out to Tino from Traders Reality. I gotta go stop by and drop him a super chat soon. Let's see. Remember Polkadot around $50. Wait, what? Polkadot around 50 bucks. Yeah, 50. Oh, I thought you meant this run. I was like, what? We got up to like $11. But yeah. Oh, the good old days. But anyway, let's take a look here. So yeah, I mean, overall, macro bear market range, right? So if I take this little local range off the chart, of course. Go ahead, hide this. Of course, I don't have it marked out, so let me just go ahead and hide this. Yo, shout out to Dr. Crimson's girlfriend. What is going on? Thank you for the super chat. Says, Mafia fam, Crimson says he loves and misses all of you. Shout out to Dr. Crimson's girlfriend. Well, shout out to Crimson. We miss you too, bro. Come on in here. Shout out to Dr. Crimson's girlfriend. Thank you for the super chat. And shout out to Crimson as well. I hope you guys are doing good. And, yeah, hopefully, where is Crimson? Is he in here? Well, we know Dr. Crimson's girlfriend's in here. Is Crimson in here? Where's Crimson at? Bring him in. Shout out to Crimson's girlfriend. We appreciate you. We miss you too. We miss you too. Let's see. Still holding on to it. Now it's diluted more. Don't know if it will go back to 50 again. Yeah, I would kind of have the same thought there, right? Is this going to go all the way to a new all-time high? I don't know, right? It's a little bit of a dinosaur coin. And yeah, you know, there's a lot of things that kind of there's a lot of things that go into if a coin can revisit its all-time high. But doesn't mean that even if you get a macro golden pocket retracement, right, it's still a massive opportunity here, right? I mean, even if you go to the macro value area low, right, like another, you know, it's a 245%. I mean, even from here to the current value area high, 90%. You know, this is definitely, you know, can it go lower? Yes. But at the end of the day, right, we did the same thing down here. Deviate below your value area low. This is the area where you want to look for longs. Once you get back into the range, flip the value area low to support, PLC, value area high. Deviate above the high, overvalued asset. This is potentially where you want to look for shorts, although at the time it honestly looked a little bit better to get a push into the value area low. But you get bearish confirmations above the high. This is where you're looking for shorts, get stuck back in the range, PLC, value area low. What are we doing now? We are deviating below the value area low. So you do have your local range that I was just looking at here, right? So locally, your key level to the upside would be about 455 at the value area low or value area high of the current range. You can see this was respected perfectly. Break in, POC, flip the value area low to support, bing bong around the POC. If you can get back above that, value area high at about 454 is going to be the level I'm looking for, right? Now, that's local though, right? If we take that back off the chart real quick and we just look at our current volume profile, I'll hide this. Whoops. Bada boom. Bada bing. Whoops. Come on. Boom. Boom, right? This is your macro profile. This is your doorway to higher prices, just like it was back here. Now, down here, we actually saw a massive short squeeze building. I think it was around 441. We saw that short squeeze building, and then there was the massive rip to the upside. It's like literally a couple days before we saw that massive squeeze to the upside. We were also below the value area. This is undervalued. We see that a ton of people are buying on spot, and a ton of the futures traders were shorting into that, right? And then the spot buyers just pushed it up and wrecked all the shorts to the upside. So maybe we have a short squeeze building here. I'd have to check it. But I will just say, right, deviating below the volume profile. 2-day, bullish divergence is confirmed. Red dot looking to print, so it might not be quite over here. But I would say your next big level to get above is 490, right? Macro value area low, flip this to support, simply going to be looking for the POC, flip the POC, go to the value area high, right? And at that point, generally, most of the altcoins, if this does happen, a lot of the altcoins will be in a very, very similar position, right? So, yeah, that is pretty much, I mean, these are the big key levels to watch, right? I would say 2-day red dot looking to print. I don't know how likely it is that you just come up right from here. Daily money flow is coming back into the red, looking for a green dot. I don't know. You might get a little bit more turbulence here. I will pull a golden pocket here real quick. Where's my anchored VWAP from the low? Yeah, I would say the line in the sand here is about 349. If you do get a bigger correction, you really, I mean, you would want to look at the anchored VWAP, which currently sits at about 388. Once you hold the golden pocket 786, right, like that would be your last line of defense to put in a higher low and continue to move up towards your value area low, right? Doorway to higher prices, bigger move up. But we'll kind of see what happens here, right? Because this is that 2-day red dot might be able to cool you off a bit, but that would be a big level of support to look at. So I'll mark that out real quick. That is sitting between about 368 to 349. Don't want to lose that zone. If you do cool off, I'm happy to come in there and retest it, but once you lose it, not going to look very good. But daily money flow, again, it's nothing really to write home about. You came into the green, you're back in the red. 2-day money flow attempting to come up. Again, nothing to really write home about. Yeah, super choppy money flow here. But yeah, those are the key levels that I would look at. I mean, you are pretty undervalued here, in my own personal opinion. Even if you come down a little bit more. I don't know. It's, we'll see. If the alts start to run, I mean, it's same thing down here. Everybody was saying, Polkadot's dead. It's never going back up, right? Short squeeze. Sure, it didn't go to new all-time highs, but, just because price is going down does not mean the coin is dead, right? Oftentimes, it means that you're in an area of low value, discount. God, could not think of that word. And then what happens, right? You squeeze into the range. So same thing here, right? Deviate the high, go to low, deviate the low, go to the high, deviate the high, go to low, deviate the low. Doesn't mean you have to instantly come up, but, I would be looking down here for potential, maybe even like little scalp longs that could potentially turn into bigger swings. So yeah, markets IVB kind of choppy on Polkadot, to be honest. Let's check the weekly real quick. Yeah, weekly green dot, somewhat lackluster, to be honest with you. Monthly VWAP coming up as well. Monthly green dot was what we needed last time we got the big leg up. Monthly green dot, massive leg up. Yeah, I mean, this is almost perfect. Green dot, massive move up as you deviate below the profile. Monthly red dot, continuation down. Monthly green dot, you're below the profile, massive move up. Monthly green dot looking to potentially print soon, right? Not just yet, but potentially looking to print soon. We also could check the 2-week. Yeah, 2-week green dot prints with the daily money flow crossing into the green. That could be a good sign for a bigger continuation into your larger profile as well. So that's what I'd be looking at on Polkadot. Let's see. Lackluster. Shout out to Crypto Maxi. Yeah, shout out to Chewy said, no altcoin should be held long-term. Eventually, they trend to zero on the Bitcoin pair. That's not untrue. That is, I can't really argue too much with that. Crimson's girlfriend says, I actually have some COQ now. Someone tipped me with it on Arena. Shout out to Dr. Crimson's girlfriend. How is COQ doing? Let's check in on our glorious COQ here. If you have kids in the room, tell them to leave. Oh, and it's still just brutalized. Unbelievable. But yeah, we're obviously going to need, way more. We're going to have to wait for at least altcoins to be in a better situation before we expect COQ to pump. Let's see. All right, let's take a look at our next coin, which is going to be Ondo. Let's move on to Ondo here. Ondo might be onto something. What is this? This is the Binance chart. I have a sneaking suspicion that is not our full chart. Maybe it is. Yeah, maybe it is. Let's take a look here. Okay, well, you have your local profile here, pulled from all the way back in 2024, March of 2024. Somewhat respected it, and then we respected it much more down here. So, yeah, I mean, from this perspective, wow, tap that daily, take that off. That's already tapped. This is tapped. This is tapped. This is no longer relevant. That weekly might still be good. Naked weekly, naked daily. 786. So yeah. So I would look at it like this, right? So your two local support levels, big levels you would want to hold if you do break back into this range. Obviously, the better situation would be to see this for me personally, right? Just in general. If we got another full rotation of this range, in my opinion, the highest probability setups will be living at the value area low, right? And the deviation below. Look for the higher time, or look for the bullish confirmations, reclaim the range, back to the POC, back to the high, and then if you get the breakout, you're in from the low. Very similar to what happened back here, although you didn't have really any bull divs down there, at least on the 4 hour. But we've gone from the low, back into the range, POC, back to the high, bounce off the POC, and now we're starting to get a little bit of a breakout here. Let's check the daily money flow. Daily money flow looking similar to Polkadot. It was in the green. Now it's in the red, but VWAP is coming up. So this is your biggest key level right now. 90 cents. You want to stay above this. Once you break back in here, I would be looking for a move down to the PLC golden pocket. Nice confluence there, to be quite honest. So that could be an area to get another higher low and a higher high. You already kind of had a... so this does sit between about 82 and 80 cents. That would be lose the value area high, come down here. Lose the golden pocket, I would look to come down to the 786, and at that point, higher probability of filling that whole range, right? So if you don't put the higher low in here and then send it, and you start losing this, I'd probably expect a full move to the value area low, which in my opinion, right, you could look for longs in the middle of the range, but the higher probability moves are going to be down here, always, right? So yeah, that's kind of what I would look at on Ondo. VWAP coming up on the daily. Let's check the 2-day, 3-day red dot looking to print. So, yeah, I mean, listen, do you have any significant bearish confirmations up here? I mean, you got above the high. You put in your bearish divergences, confirmed money flow crossing into the red potentially. So, yeah, I would definitely say lose this, at least coming down here. If not, looking for the full rotation of the range. Really depends on what the chart looks like if you get down to that golden pocket. If it looks good, you look for a massive move up. If not, I'd look for the full rotation. Let's check the monthly. We don't have any information on the monthly, weekly, 2-week, nothing. Yeah, 2-week green dot as well. I would say on the altcoins, the next big thing to look at would be the next big thing to look at on the altcoins would be the 2-week green dot with the daily money flow crossover into the green. That would be the next big market cipher B signal to get a bigger move to the upside. Let's see. Nick Dunn said, I apologize, Mafia. That mistake will never happen again. What was the mistake? Shout out to Nick Dunn. What was the mistake, bro? Let's see. No one in the chat knows if he did Solana. Shout out to Blind Wanderer. Yeah, we took a look at Solana for 2 seconds just because it's in the same spot it was yesterday, right? There wasn't really much to update. We're just within our larger range. I'll even take off the anchored VWAP real quick to the downside, right? I mean, even if I hide this Fibonacci level, right? I mean, these are really the levels I'm looking at. We already tapped this daily naked point of control, so we can get rid of that. So, yeah, I mean, value area low, 126.80, POC, 142.88, and then the value area high sits up at about 166.83. But this is a confluent area, 786, value area high, daily naked point of control, and the anchored VWAP really between $158 and $166. This is really the big zone of resistance, and we've already gotten above the value area low. We pushed into the POC. As long as we remain above that POC, doorway to the value area high zone remains open. And again, even if we do play around here, it's okay. You do have the weekly naked point of control down there. Sometimes that journey to the value area high is very messy. It's very confusing. But more often than not, you do see the fill of those ranges in full. You're within that larger profile. So we're already step 1 complete. Flip the value area low. Flip the POC complete. Can we get to the high? But again, locally, I would say, not impossible to see things cool off here a little bit. We got the fresh red dots on the 12-hour. 45-minute money flow is probably already in the red. Yeah, 45-minute money flow crossing over. So I would expect some kind of a correction to the downside first. But general sentiment here, you're within the larger range. It doesn't look that bad, right? As long as you can hold that weekly naked point of control, you could potentially even get a pullback there, reclaim POC, send it to the high, right? Because again, it's not always a clean move through the profile. Sometimes you do get it where it's just like flip the low, flip the POC into the high. That's nice, right? But it doesn't always happen like that because that POC acts as a magnet for price, right? Sometimes bing bongs us around in that zone. But those are the key levels I'm looking at. As long as we remain within this range, doorways to those value area high zone does remain open. And I will just correct this slightly. So 167 to 16, honestly, to the anchored VWAP, which will move down over time. But really between 158.75 and 167.20 is the key level of resistance. So there we go. Let's see. Bull flag on Sui daily chart. Looks like we could go for $5, yeah? Shout out to Alter Culture. No problemo, bro. No problem. Yeah, we can take a look at that. Let's take a look at Sui. Is this our Sui chart? I don't think this is our Sui chart. Actually, I have a new Sui chart. Where is it? I know I have a new Sui chart here. Come on. Am I tripping? Where's my Sui chart? I think I shared it with the premium Discord. The Mafia has my chart, but I don't. Maybe I did put it over here. This is Coinbase, check Binance. Yeah, this might be it. Yeah, this is it. Okay. So, on Sui, let me just unhide this, see what this stuff is. Okay, interesting. I don't know why this is like a half-done profile. There it is. So let me just grab all this. And lower profile. And then drag this in there. Okay, so let me pull up the relevant range here. Okay, so here we are on Sui. We have our previous volume profile from back here in November of 2024. And we got the big move down, big move up. And I will make these make sense for you guys. But yeah, we're just within that local range. This was the last level that we looked at on Sui. We push into the value area high. This could be the area where you get a little bit of resistance. If we lose this POC, I will be looking down at the value area low, which is going to be confluent. Let me hide the local range here, right? Because this is the larger range POC, right? Which is very similar to our context on Bitcoin, right? We got above the low. We push into the POC. Are we going to get that retest of the low? Same thing here, right? This is the larger range value area. If we hold above that value area low, which is also a local 786 retracement, this could be a nice area to potentially put in a higher low before continuing up through the profile like we looked at earlier today. Similar setup as Bitcoin too, right? Because we have that lower range here, which if broken, we do not necessarily want to break below these highs, right? Because if we get accepted below that range, it's definitely going to be a little bit more bearish, which is the level that I just popped in over here, right? So level number 1 on Sui, if the correction continues, which 2-day red dot looking to print, 16-hour red dot. So yeah, if we get a bigger correction, $3.08 down to about $3.07 right here is going to be a key level to hold. Again, retest the low before continuing up through the profile. Golden pocket monthly between $3.96 and 409 is going to be a key level of resistance, but once you get above that, you are going to be looking up towards that value area high. That would be an intermediary level on the way to the value area high. So bigger pullback, I'm definitely looking down here. If we lose this, you really want to start bouncing off of 282, which is the previous value area high. You do not want to lose that level. At that point, my sentiment would be a little bit more bearish for a move down closer towards about 205. Very similar to Bitcoin, right? Like if you just took the name and the price off, it's a very similar setup here, right? You're at the PLC of the range, starting to get a rejection. You're hoping to hold the value area low. If you lose previous value area high, that is more bearish. And that comes in at 282. So you definitely want to hold this. Let's see. So yeah, and then your macro value area, let me get rid of this. I'll even hide the range or the fibs. I'll hide the, and just looking at this as a typical volume profile, value area low, value area low sitting at 310, POC 376, value area high at 453, right? So break above 376, hold it as support, look to start your journey up to the value area high. So that is what I would look at for SUI in the grand scheme of things. And then if we look at the little mini range, right, this is very similar, right? You're just rejecting a value area high. If you come down, testing that same macro value area low, it's also the local value area low. And then it just gives you a little bit more of a local context. But for the most part, the large range is really, in my opinion, what you would want to be looking at up here. And then lower range, value area high sitting at 282, POC sitting at 226, and then value area low at 206. Let's see. The pizza guy is got to get sick when he thinks about it. Shout out to Crypto Maxi. I don't know what the heck that is in reference to. Almost Bitcoin Pizza Day. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, for the love of God, that guy is, oh, my God. Could you imagine? Oh, good Lord. That is not a, most expensive pizzas ever sold. Shout out to Wix Wi-Fi 89. What is going on? Said Band-Aid, no, it was 82 today, and the humidity wasn't so bad. I ain't ready for the heat. Shout out to Wix Wi-Fi 99. I'm ready for the super heat. I'm not going to lie. I am a heat maxi. Shout out to Crypto Maxi. But shout out to Wix Wi-Fi 89 and Wix 589. Welcome in, guys. Good to see you. Let's see. Shout out to B. Tyler. Says, thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you so much. He says, Aerodrome, please. Yeah, we could try to take a look at Aerodrome really quickly here. Bada boom, bada bing. And then we're going to get into the giveaways, guys. We'll get into the giveaways. We actually looked at Aerodrome, I think, yesterday, too. What was yesterday? Yesterday was May 1st. Maybe we didn't. Did we look at? I could tell by the fib. No. Okay, so we looked at this probably on Friday or last week. So let's see here. Okay, so value area low, golden pocket confluence, anchored VWAP 786 confluence. I mean, as of right now, this anchored VWAP's going to move. But yeah, value area low. I mean, this value area is getting respected here. Flip the low. Next move to the POC. POC sits at about 66 cents. You would really want to hold this. Hold above the POC. We are getting the rejection from the 786, though, here. Macro 786, pulled from the low, lower high here all the way to the low. We get the retracement into the golden pocket, pull back. We get above the golden pocket. Next likely place for price to go is the 786. So still, I would say you did front run the value area high, right? So if you stay above this POC, I would say it's still a pretty decent opportunity to come up here to the value area high if you stay above the POC. If you start losing the POC, same thing with everything else, right? You might just bing bong around because it's not often that you leave these value area highs front run. It could happen, right? It could happen, especially if you rejected 786, right? That's why we look at these levels as a zone. But stay above the PLC, doorways open. Even if you play around, all you need to do is reclaim and come up to the value area low. So up to the value area high. Value area high sitting at 77 cents. POC sitting at 66 cents. Value area low sitting at about 50 cents in confluence with the golden pocket. And yeah, depending on if and when we get down here, this anchored VWAP might move up to the value area low. So this is like really the big level you want to hold on Aerodrome. So if you do, even if you do come back down here, you really want to hold that, right? Put in a higher low, and then continue the bigger move to the upside, up to the value area high, monthly naked point of control, break above that. You might be able to start the bigger move up towards your upper profiles. So yeah, those are the levels that I would be looking at on Aerodrome. Money flow coming out here on the 3-hour, 4-hour money flow coming out. Check the daily green dot confirmed. Money flow coming up on the daily as well, right? So if we get that crossover into the green, with our 2-week green dot printing, if we can get that to print soon, would likely be a continuation to the upside. Doesn't mean we can't cool off, but it will be looked at as higher lows and higher highs to come. So there you go. There is Aerodrome. And now let's go ahead and let's get into some giveaways. Let's get into giveaway time, baby. Let's go. Let's see. Shout out to Roboball said, yo, Frankie, I'm having issues with my premium Discord subscription. I renewed it today, but I'm not in the premium Discord. Shout out to Roboballs. At Tony D. If you get in touch with Tony D, Tony, if you are here, can you at Roboballs and tell him where to reach you? And be careful. Tony D, and or I will never ask you to send us a seed phrase or anything like that. All Tony will do, if you message him, and it is the real him, all he's going to do is help you get into the Discord. That's it. He's not going to ask you for money or anything like that. And if he does ask you for money because you have to pay for the Discord, it will have to go through the legit Frankie Candles website, right? It's not going to be through some sketchy thing. So be careful out there. Tony said, I got you, dude. Let's go. Let's go. Tyler Durden said, at Roboballs. All right. So Tony D is ready for the giveaways. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's run the giveaways. We got 10 bags of Cardano, I believe. Tony calls me names. Shout out to Tyler. Tyler, hit me up. Tony calls you names, bro, because he's been calling me names too. And we gotta jump on that. We can't let him bully us, Tyler. He does make the best pizza, which does kind of have me in a chokehold, to be honest. But pizza versus dignity. Come on. Shout out to Tyler Durden. We're on a team. It's me and Tyler versus Tony D. 10 bags of Ada. Let's do it. Let's do it. He took my lunch money. Shout out to New Earth. All right. Let's see. All right. Tony D will drop the winners in here momentarily. Let's get it. Tyler said, I was promised pizza and never got it. Tony D literally comes and drops off 2 pieces of pizza like in an air vacuum sealed bag for me sometimes, which is hilarious. Like I just hear ding dong. I open up the door, 2 pieces of pizza. Like, let's go. Talk about New York stereotypes. All right, let's see. Tony D will drop them in here in a minute. Let's go. Who's it going to be? Shout out to B. Griffin said, big thanks to Frankie. I like your streams, bro. Shout out to Big Griffin. I appreciate B. Griffin. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for being here, and thank you for appreciating the streams. I appreciate you for appreciating me. And I know Crypto Billy appreciates me, appreciating you, appreciating him, appreciating me, appreciating you. So shout out to B. Griffin. All right, let's see. Frankie is goated. Shout out to Gig Longbottom. Let's go. Bet. Good giveaway. Let's go. Tony, let's do 13 winners. What are our likes at? If our likes are above, okay, I was going to say, if we're above 200 likes, we'll do 3 hats. So let's do 13, Tony. 10 ADA giveaways, I believe. Tyler might have to correct that. 10 bags of ADA, and let's just do 3 hats. And let's see what we got. Shall we play some music here? Play a little bit of Conor McGregor. Maybe I'll blow up Mrs. Candles too, because Mrs. Candles is not doing good, guys. She got me liquidated the other day on stream, and look at her now.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, I can't take no less.
It's okay.
I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up whose man's high.
Mrs. Candles feeling a little deflated.
I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up from my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life. I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose, and I'm coming right inside. I'm in mine.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Shout out to G-Man, says, how does the giveaway work? You just got to be here, brother. You just got to be here, and your name might be called. Let's see. No open flames around Mrs. Candles. Doctor's orders. Shout out to Dave Digital. Yeah. We used to have the candles running during the live stream, but we had to stop that because Mrs. Candles kept getting holes in her. Anyway. Yeah, Mrs. Candle's feet don't smell as good as her hands. Anyway, let's see. All right. Well, winner should be popping up any momento now. She's allergic. She's allergic to fire. She's allergic to fire. Shout out to Dave Digital. There we go. All right, we got Soul Bay. Shout out to Soul Bay. We got Nuck and UQ. Shout out to you. Theo Rodriguez, Crypto Riaz, PC Master, Nizzy, and Jesse. Yo, shout out to Jesse. You deserve it, bro. You've been here for so long. Shout out to Jesse. We got Dadu Crypto, Speed Hacker, G-Man, Nostro, and Nico Star and Nico. That's a little bit suspicious. But there we go. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, 13. There we go, baby. There we go. Jess LFG, baby. Jess LFG, let's go. Yo, shout out to Jesse, bro. You deserve a giveaway, bro. You've been here for so long. You've been pushing the likes, and it finally paid off, and you got that giveaway. Let's go, baby. And I guess we will say I'll let Tony D pick. Tony, which ones are the hat winners? The first three or the last three? I don't want to act like I have any kind of bias or anything. A lot of names starting with N. Everybody in here is gonna have an N name. It's gonna be N K Diggity, N J Violet, Gen Z. Bro, we're gonna have to give away. Last three are for the hats. Let's go. Yo, Dave Digital said middle three. I have a speech impediment now. Always the last three. Shout out to Tyler Durden. Let's go, baby. Tears of joy, happy for the winners. Let's go. Well, congratulations to everybody who just got a free hat or free bag of Cardano. And Gen Z, bro, we are not gonna stop this until you get a Frankie Candles hats. We've been rooting for you for a few weeks now. We're gonna have to try to make this happen somehow. Shout out to Gen Z. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. Let's see one more, please. Jesse, no way. Let's go. Is Mrs. Candles and Airhead? Giveaways are giveaways are rigged. Mrs. Candles is an Airhead. I guess technically Mrs. Candles actually is actually the opposite of an Airhead right now. She has no air in her head. She has no air in her entire body. But with all that being said, guys, that's all the time I got for tonight's live stream. Thank you for hanging out with us here on this beautiful Friday evening. There's a lot of places you could be, but you chose to spend it here with the Candle Mafia and your boy Frankie Candles to help you learn this TA and trading strategies to help you make money trading Bitcoin, whether price is going up or down. Smash that like button on your way out, guys. Have a great weekend. Go touch some grass. If you're just tuning in, scrub to the beginning of the stream to get all the sauce on what we're expecting next on Bitcoin. That's all I got. I'll see you guys next week. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong!
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, though they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, I can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working, I'm up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
All right, last man standing. 3, 2, 1, go. Last man standing in the chat right now. Dave Digital said start your engines. Last man standing. I'm going to win this one, I swear. Probably not. But I'll see you guys tomorrow or on Monday. Have a great weekend. Hasta pasta. Frank Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road.